Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Burns Reviews, and today, oh my god, we got Black Widow, my first ever Disney slash Marvel title ever. I've been knocking on that door at Disneyland asking for a screener. I tried with Raya, I tried with Mulan, I tried with the MCU shows. I don't think I tried with Loki. I think at that point I took the message. But this time, I kind of just rolled the dice. I'm like, hey guys, give me a shot. I literally wrote that. There's like a sign-in sheet where you have to like put like a request in with Disney. And I got to the bottom where it said, please put in the title of the movie that you want to request. And I wrote Black Widow, and then in parentheses I wrote, pretty please with sugar on top. Give me a shot. More or less it's like a laugh, because I'm like, they never give me a screener. It's always like the same rhetoric of like, unfortunately, it's, you know what it is? It's like getting rejected from a college that you really want to go to, but it's just like, unfortunately, there were not enough screeners to provide you with. We apologize for the yada yada yada, and you always just feel like the kid who got picked last for kickball. But that all changed because I went through my emails and I found out that they actually sent me one yesterday. You know, usually I have all my emails and Gmail starred, and for whatever reason, this didn't pop up as being a starred email. It just kind of got lost in the spam, I guess, all that stuff. So, but long and behold, I saw it was there and I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to sleep now. It was 1 a.m. I'm like, holy shit. They sent me Black Widow. This is amazing. I said, what better opportunity to wear my two Captain America boys t-shirt that I got from the weekly Planet Pod over at Mr. Sunday Movies. Let's do this. Let's break it down. Birds Reviews, the very first Disney Marvel movie, MCU movie, Black Widow. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Burns Reviews, and today we are talking about the new, yet highly anticipated, long overdue Black Widow from the MCU. If you want early movie reviews just like this one, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. We get early movie reviews and ending explain videos every single week, and without any further ado, let's talk about it. Scarlett Johansson, the beautiful Scarlett Johansson, is back in Black Widow. Alright, so let's just start with the positives right out the gate. I have to say, the thing that really shines in this movie for me is the cast. Don't take this the wrong way, but these actors, I kid you not, are like basically Oscar level of acting. And they to put it bluntly, it's almost like they're overqualified to be in a superhero movie. There are scenes with the family, you know, because we don't get a lot of it in the trailer. We got like the little jokes and the quips, but there's some really heavy lifting with the theatrical acting. I feel like I'm watching theater, and I'm like, wow, Florence Pugh and David Harbour really stole the show. David Harbour, who plays, what is it, the Red Crimson, the Red Guardian, sorry. He's the funny character, you know, but then again, I could listen to him tell stories about ice fishing all damn day. It was hysterical how much of a crush he kind of has on Captain America. Not in that kind of way, but it's hysterical. And Florence Pugh, who I know from Midsummer, I've seen her in a couple of other things, rarely ever lets me down as an actress. And despite it being a superhero movie, this was so damn good. And it's the first, I think, in the new phase of the MCU that I'm actually really excited to see spin-offs of these characters, because there's been a couple of movies that, I don't know if it's just MCU movies or DC even, where basically it's like, okay, the front character is going to be the character you know, and then we surround him with new people, and we're going to slowly fade out the one that you know, and hopefully you're going to be ready when they do the spin-off with these supporting characters. Hopefully you love them and you're ready for them. This movie is the first time that I'm like, yeah, Scarlett Johansson can hang it up, and I would be very pleased to watch more adventures with Florence Pugh and David Harbour. They're all just great. As far as the action and the direction, Kate Shortland, who I'm not really familiar with the things that she's done. She doesn't have a giant filmography, but it was very well crafted. You know, you have a lot of these big action set pieces. One that I really liked is in the opening of the film. It kind of reminded me of GoldenEye. There's a scene where there's a plane and they're trying to escape, and I'm not going to go into spoilers, don't worry. But there's an escape scene with the plane in a flashback. And even though you know that all these characters are going to be fine and everything's going to work out because we're in a flashback and we have so much story to get into, I'm literally talking about the opening 5 minutes. I was up here on the edge of my seat with the level of suspense that I was feeling watching this scene. Like, it's well shot, and it reminded me a lot of the Bourne movies. Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy. The suspense level was all the way up here, and I loved it. I would even say this movie's better than The Winter Soldier. But, you know, I just saw F9, and that movie was hollow and soulless, and it has action, but it didn't feel like it meant anything. This movie convincingly does a great job of keeping you on the edge of your seat, even though in the back of your mind you know, all right, this character is a main character, this character is not going to be killed off. It still was so well crafted that I felt it. I felt the stakes. I felt every time a character got punched in the face, it was like, ooh. You know, there's one character, their nose gets broken, and you're like, oh, yeah. So I gotta give it to Miss Shortland over here. She's done a great job. I think it has like the suspense of the Bourne Identity, but the fun of GoldenEye. It's like a throwback to like those 90s movies, which is funny because it takes place in 95 for a little bit of it. And GoldenEye came out that year, and it has that fun that GoldenEye had while also having the suspense of Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity, and stuff like that. Yeah, and you know, we got some great set pieces. There's, like I said, there's a great scene in the beginning that involves a plane. I'm not going to get into it too much. There's a fantastic set piece involving a prison break, also amazing. And I think we get maybe like 5 set pieces throughout the whole movie. The movie is about 2 hours and I think 14 minutes or something like that. It's kind of breezy though. You know, I watched it at home. I didn't see it in theaters. I am going to go see it this weekend or next week when it comes out in theaters, because to be honest, I really want to see this on an IMAX. I really want to see it on the big screen. There's so much going on, and the action set pieces are amazing. It's in the trailer. There's a scene where Black Widow is like basically pulling a Point Break, and she's skydiving through the sky while fighting Taskmaster, and yeah, it's just, there's so much in this movie that's so much fun. If there's one thing I can convey to you in this video, is that this is a thrill ride you don't want to miss, and I'm not blowing smoke. I had so much fun watching this movie. You love the characters, you love Black Widow. You know, this movie gets right everything that I feel that Captain Marvel didn't get right. Scarlett Johansson, I don't know if she has an Oscar. I have no doubt that she will by the time that she's done with her career. Like I said, I feel like these actors were all plucked, all cherry-picked out of like Oscar-worthy films. And even the screenwriting with the dialogue and the family, it could have come out of an Oscar movie. And they just kind of dropped it in the middle of all these amazing set pieces of action. And look, I know this is like my first big Marvel movie and MCU movie and all that, but I kid you not, this was a fantastic standalone movie. I really loved the first Iron Man movie, for example. And ever since Endgame, I kind of wanted the MCU to go back to doing these singular stories that kind of narrowed in again. You know, because we expanded so much to the point that it feels impersonal, it's kind of broad, and it's a little vague. And that was kind of the issues I had with Captain America, not Captain America, what was it called? Captain America Boys. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I felt it was a little bit, I don't know, muddled? This is not muddled. I will say this much. As far as negatives go, the villains are a little bit weak. I'm not going to specify too much because I know part of the ad campaign is like the whole mystery of like who is the Taskmaster and stuff like that. But I will say this, there is more than one villain. There are villains. There's levels of villain. Look, I'm not going to go into it too much. But much like Guardians of the Galaxy, You will enjoy this for one, the action. Go see it in IMAX if you can. I would. I will. And the cast, which is way too good for this movie. I would have been fine with like Dave Bautista just doing like whatever. This really, I was getting choked up in some of the scenes with the family because they really brought it. They treated it like they were like in like year one of acting, and they were just gonna like really prove their acting chops like on Broadway or something. Like they really brought it, and I was shocked. I had a lump in my throat in some of the scenes where I was like, damn, that hit hard. And to leave you on one more final note, the original arc of the Black Widow character is kind of dark. You know, there's this whole thing about how the Red Room, and, you know, anybody who knows the character knows the backstory is pretty dark in how they make a Black Widow. This movie doesn't shy away from that at all. And I would say they push it as close as they can without it going into an R rating. There are things that are talked about. The violence is kind of like, there's no blood, but the angles are done creatively, and I will give Kate Shortland her due, because there's one scene in particular where it's an overhead shot where one character is just getting their ass handed to them, and I'm like, damn, like, short of there being blood, this is like really going for it. And don't get me wrong, don't be thinking that you shouldn't take your kids to go see this movie. Definitely do that. It's just, I think it's very well crafted to the point that you don't feel like you're in a kid's movie at any point. You don't feel like you're in a family-friendly film at any point. This is Black Widow. It's a little bit darker. It's kind of, you know what it is? It's like The Dark Knight in that it goes to some of those dark places sometimes, and it's just really good. It's brief too. It's only here and there, but when it does it, it's like, ooh, damn. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna do a spoiler review. I'm gonna wait though. I got the email and I read the email, and they basically said, don't spoil anything. We implore you, please don't give anything away. So I can't really go into it too much. I'm just looking at my notes really quickly. We finally find out what happened in Budapest. I'll just leave it at that. I don't think it's really a spoiler. The family stuff is really good, like I said. And yeah, it's just a joyride that you really just don't want to miss. I highly recommend it. All these MCU movies to me are kind of like at an A-ish level. You know, you got a couple B levels in there. It's rare you get like a C. I think there's only like maybe 2 or 3 movies in my, well, there's one movie that I don't like in the MCU. I don't like The Dark World, and I'm not a big fan of the Hulk. But a lot of these movies, for the most part, are like a grade of like a B and up. Even like Ant-Man the Wasp, or the original Ant-Man, you're like, yeah, they're still good. This movie, I really enjoyed. I'm going to give it an A. I think it's only rivaled by maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel like that's going to be the movie that people find themselves comparing it to, because the cast between the family and that dynamic, I think, is what people are going to remember. If you think of Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah, it's a really cool universe, but what you really gravitate to is how they have that chemistry between those 5 characters, and we get that hands down in this movie as well. So yeah, I'm still gushing about this. Florence Pugh could do no wrong. Scarlett Johansson, you know, delivers more than I expected. You know, they're all highly trained actors, and I would say the only thing that kind of was a disappointment as well was, I've been hearing for 2 years that a certain character was going to appear in this movie. That was not true. That there's a character that I thought was going to appear because there was a lot of hot gossip about it. It's not true. And I don't think that's really a spoiler, because I don't think debunking a rumor that I'm being very vague about. Yeah, that there's a certain character who does not make an appearance, and you know, oh well. But it doesn't take away from the movie. It was just an afterthought I had. Post-credit scene. There is no mid-credit scene, but there is a post-credit at the very, very end. Woo! I am excited to see whatever they do with that. Sometimes those post-credit scenes could be a little lackluster. Like, yeah, all right. This one I was like, sign me up. Take my money, Disney. Take my money. I might buy this movie anyway on Disney Plus because I want to watch it again. I want to watch it right now. I'm probably going to watch it before my screener expires because I enjoyed it that much and I want to do a spoiler video. But yeah, guys, it is so nice to be back in the movies, getting quality movies, because, you know, a couple movies I saw were good or less than good. This movie, man, as far as the action genre, we're back, baby. We're back. Go to the cinemas if you can. If you can't, I get it. Watch it on Disney Plus. But, yeah, there's very little wrong with this movie. Like I said, the only thing I could say about this movie that didn't work for me was the villain. The villain/villains and their plan was very backseat to the rest of what was going on, and it could have been a little bit better, but I honestly don't care. I'm nitpicking. It wasn't an eyesore. It was just like, yeah, it could have been better. It was like Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, yeah, it's all right. Still love Guardians, though, and I still love this movie. Go check it out. Comes out July 9th. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been John here on Burns Reviews. You just got burned. Hopefully, we can do more of these Disney Marvel screeners, reviews, early reviews. I was so elated to get this one, and I'm so happy that it also turned out to be a fantastic film. It all just kind of worked out very nicely. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been John here on Burns Reviews. We have a new Ending Explain video up on the channel for Censor, which I thought was a bit of an underrated gem that people are still discovering. But if you want to go inside, behind the scenes, you can check that out right here. We also got a first reaction for the first episode of Loki. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been John here on Burns Reviews. You've been burned, and we will see you next time.